Salvete omnes. Hodie legemus partem quindecem de libro quius nomen est Ritchie's Fābulae Facilēs. Incipiamos. Quindecem. Hercules escapes sacrifice. De Hercules haec etiam inter alia nadantur. Olim dum iter facit in fines Aegyptiorum vinet. Ibi rex quidam nomine Busiris illo tempore regnabat. Hic autem vir crudelissimus homines immolare consueverat. Herculem igitur correpuit et in vincula coniecet. Tum nuntios dimisit et diem sacrificio edixit. Mox ea dies apetebat, et omnia rite parata sunt. Manus Hercules catenis feriis vinctae sunt, et mola salsa in caput ius inspersa est. Mos inem erat apud antiquos, salum et far capitibus victimarum imponere. Iam victima ad arum stabat, iam sacerdos cultorum sumserat. Subito tamen Hercules magno conatu vincula perupet, tum ictu sacerdotem prostravit, altero regem ipsum occidet. So of Hercules, ablative, these things are narrated. So we've got a plural passive here. The tur tips us off that it's passive. So these things are narrated amongst other things. You could translate this idiomatically as these things amongst others are said of Hercules. Olim, once upon a time, dum iter facit, so while he was making a trip, or literally, well, that's the literal translation. Idiomatically, you could say while he was taking a trip, he came into the boundaries of Egypt, or into the land of Egypt. There, ibi, rex quidam, a certain king. I'll throw the declension for quidam up on the screen. There's that im sound at the ending, which might tempt you to think that it's accusative, but quidam itself just ends with an im in the nominative. So a certain king named Busiris was reigning at that time. Hic, meaning Busiris. So, however, this most cruel man, we've got a superlative here, crudelissimus, had been accustomed, we've got the pluperfect here, had been accustomed to immolate or to burn people, homines. Therefore, he seized Hercules. Note, Herculem is in the accusative here. So coming from English, you might be tempted to think Hercules is the subject of the sentence because he's the first word, but it's not the case. He's in the accusative. So the king seized Hercules and threw him into chains. No, in with the plural neuter accusative there. So he threw him into chains. Then he sent announcers and said or appointed a day for the sacrifice. So soon that day was drawing near. Dies, I'll throw the declension for dies on there. Dies here is singular and nominative, and it's feminine, so remember your pronouns is, ia, id. So the soon, that day, was drawing near, and everything, omnia, was prepared. Parata sunt, we've got past passive participle plus sunt, and note the endings match, so it's feminine plural. Everything was prepared duly or fitly, so we've got rite there, it's an adverb. Manus Hercules, so the hands of Hercules. I'll throw the chart for manus on the screen. Manus here is the plural nominative. So the hands of Hercules were chained or were bound. Past passive participle plus sunt. And note, manus is feminine. So we've got a feminine plural here. They match up. And how were his hands bound? With catenis feris, with iron chains. Et mola salsa, so salted meal, was sprinkled in spersa est, past passive participle plus est, onto his head. So we've got in plus an accusative here. So you translate that as into his head, but that doesn't make sense in English, so it'd be better to say onto his head. Mos inem erat, for the custom was amongst the ancients, apud antiquos, to place, imponere, salem et far, salt and meal, on the heads of the victims. Capitibus here, we've got a little text note telling us that it's the dative with the compound verb. So they put the meal onto the head. Iam victima ad adam stabat. So already the victim was standing at the altar. Already the priest, sacerdos, it's nominative singular, had taken up, sum serat, it's pluperfect, had taken up the knife. This little construction, the iam and iam, to start the phrases are to give the narrative more of a sense of urgency. Like, already Hercules is standing at the altar. Already the priest has the knife. Suddenly, however, subito tamen, Hercules, with a great effort, magno conatu, burst or broke, perupit, the chains, accusative plural, neuter. Then, with a stroke or a blow, he laid out the priest, sacerdotem. Altero, so that's with another implied ictu there, and we've got a text note for that. So with another blow, he killed the king himself. Ipsum, himself, modifies ad regem.